Hey BeliefMap team, I hope you are well. I wanted to announce for you that we have just now launched a massive brand new section on BeliefMap on the topic of gospel reliability. And it is a hierarchy of, I think, 97 new pages of content. And so maybe that's 400 of these speech bubble blocks that are new. And it specifically centers on whether the gospel material is based on witness testimony rather than on lies and legends. Quickly, why is this important for evangelism and apologetics? Well, it's because if the skeptic is forced to admit the gospel material is largely or entirely grounded in witness testimony, then he's going to have to fit the miracle reports into his worldview somehow. More than that, he's going to have to think hard about how to deal with the diversity of reports regarding Jesus' death, the reports on his empty tomb, and the many reports we have on his post-mortem appearances to witnesses. And I have to add this, among the 97 new pages of content are hundreds of new images. And these illustrations are important to BeliefMap because this tool is supposed to be fun to interact with, and it's supposed to help people remember all of this evidence we're throwing at them. So ultimately, it facilitates the ability of students, like at seminaries even, to quickly grasp and internalize the information. And I want to be clear, I absolutely believe this tool is going to be actively used at seminaries to train students in apologetics. I've had reports from professors before, and I already know it's being used by apologetics clubs across the nation. Here are like 200 recent images I've designed to illustrate our gospel reliability propositions. And as of right now, you can see we have over 900 custom-designed apologetics images at BeliefMap. So now, to introduce the next few videos that I'll be releasing, let me ask, why should we think that gospel stories are witness-based? Well, I have 6 lines of evidence here, but we are going to look at 5 across our videos. Number 1, the name ratios for that time and place are accurate, and I'll explain why that's a lot more relevant than you may initially think. Number 2, the Gospels abound in witness-based stories, and I'll explain why that goes to show that we should think the whole thing is witness-based. The Gospel stories do not fit as legends. That's number 3. Of course, we'll go over the relevance of that. Number 4, in early Christianity, witness-based Jesus biography pervaded. And by that I mean you basically couldn't find legend if you tried. And number 5, even if Jesus legends were pervasive, even if they were all over the place, the gospel authors would have avoided them. They got witness approval or close for their reports. So this is 5 lines of really important evidence that I want to share with you. Except for the evidence from Palestinian names, that number 1, each of these have whole books on them, and I'm bringing it all together here for you so that you and everyone else can quickly and easily grasp the main arguments. And since this Palestinian names one is so short, I'm going to go ahead and share it in this video just to give you a taste of what's to come. And if you saw my debate on Jesus' resurrection with Matt Dillahunty, you may remember me making use of this. Also, for this one evidence, I'm just going to go ahead and quote what it says on BeliefMap itself, so you can see how easy it is for people in a live conversation or for students or anyone presenting BeliefMap, how easy it is for them to share this content. So here it is. Quote, specialists in onomastic studies have cataloged over 3,000 names from tomb inscriptions and similar writings around first century Palestine. That's a lot. And as a result, we now know that the very specific names and name ratios of Jewish names in first century Palestine closely matches the names and name ratios of Jewish Palestinian names in the 4 Gospels and the book of Acts. And actually, let me show you what I'm talking about. In AD 30 Palestine, 15.6% of men were named Simon or Joseph. That's the 2 most popular names in that area. And guess what? When we look in the Gospels and Acts, it turns out to be very close to 15.6. It's 18.2. So this is a really neat correspondence, and there's a number of these correspondences as you go throughout. The names, in fact, line up perfectly. Here's another example. In AD 30 Palestine, the Greek names were about 12%, and likewise in the Gospels, it's almost exactly 12%. This is relevant because the name ratio correspondence to onomastic studies is easy to explain if the material in the Gospel and Acts is witness-based. That is to say, if the witness sources were simply recounting the genuine random names of people involved in authentic historic episodes. By contrast, no other explanation can easily explain this correspondence. For example, even liars perfectly located in AD 30 Palestine would be unlikely to conjure up a genuine random sampling of names that gets the ratios right. And for legend makers outside of Palestine, it would be straightforwardly impossible. For example, the name ratios in Egypt at this time are completely different. Moreover, since Jewish names pervade the Gospels and Acts, this correspondence is a statement on the Gospels and Acts as a whole. So if any real number of fabricated stories were even mixed in with the Gospels and Acts, with the fake names, this correspondence could be put in jeopardy. Okay? So this constitutes one important reason to think the Gospels as a whole are likely witness-based. All right, so there is your taste. We've got, I think, 4 more videos covering, it's going to branch off into like 50 lines of evidence. But that's what we got for now, and we will dive into the next video next time.